Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? Yes, I know you're going to be looking at the fan here for a bit, as well as these stars I like to have sometimes here and there. Probably just need a few more of them. For glow-in-the-dark stuff at night, which is nice to have. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this particular video kind of brief, but I think that there's something to be said of quite a bit of importance in this train of thought I have. So, yeah, by the way, though, I just went to the dentist this morning, and that was lots of fun. Oh, yeah, dentists. There's some things you just don't look forward to, and dentist appointments are generally one of those things. And they cost a bit of money, depending on your insurance situation and everything, but... Okay, so, there's a YouTuber that I just discovered today who is, she happens to be a fairly attractive type, a young woman. That's always something that many of us guys tend to notice. I can't say she's the most attractive person I've ever seen, but she's up there a bit. But that only goes so far, anyway. The thing is that I noticed something a little bit peculiar about this particular YouTuber's channel. I'm not really sure why I'm bothering to keep her anonymous. This is a YouTuber named The White Rose. The White Rose. And this is a little bit interesting. She actually disabled comments. No, there are YouTubers that disable comments. I see them all the time. But they generally happen to be YouTube channels or YouTubers that I can quickly surmise why this would be the case. That they have up videos that are extremely controversial, and they just want to kind of present something. I mean, I do mean extremely controversial. Or they have videos that are just very academic or scholarly, and again, they're just putting out this video for our education, watching YouTube. And there's probably a third category where someone has YouTube videos up that they want to show family things to the public, or they want to show videotapes of whatever going on in their family or church or whatever. And they just don't want to have people commenting that might not be so considerate. Any of those three situations, the controversial stuff, the scholarly stuff, or the putting up stuff that's family stuff, but you still want to share with other people, but you don't want other people to be obnoxious, etc. That's all very understandable. But this particular YouTuber's stuff, I guess you could say, her videos she thought they were controversial. Okay, but so are quite a few videos out there on YouTube. The people that disable comments with very controversial videos, it's often something particularly politically charged, almost more than almost anything else that's controversial, because of the sheer number of comments that they'll come up with some certain topics. They'll probably just cover the screen. It's a pretty well-known, YouTuber. I don't know. So it got me thinking a little bit. I thought, okay, controversial, but not maybe as much the other stuff. Certainly not. She doesn't seem like she has anything. I wasn't really sure what was going on anyway with her own life regarding family so much anyway. But the thing is for the White Rose, and in this case, I'll tell you why I don't mind mentioning her name. But let me just proceed here for a bit. So this particular young woman, I don't think she's from the United States. I think she's probably South African or something, or sounded in a European type accent, but it was probably something having to do with the Boers or South Africa or something. Anyway, she has up a bunch of stuff that's about it's political, it's genderish, There's some racial things in there, or things having to do with race, and a little bit of politics perhaps, but a lot of, just kind of things that can catch your eye, and that are meaningful. Like she has some religious stuff on there, her own beliefs. But it's all kind of general stuff. I mean, it's not really a whole lot of specifics of kinds of things. It's like she presents her videos as being, this is for you guys. This is for you to learn about, right? For you to learn about. It's for education. It's to spread information, right? Well, that's great, but what she talks about is a bit more along the lines of her opinions and beliefs, with some insights and things. I'm not saying it's completely just her opinions. There's a lot more informational sorts of things, perhaps, but it does start sounding like she's trying to preach. Now, you guys will know, I have now 251 videos. 251. Now, those 251 videos, vast majority of them, I try not to do that. I try not to preach to you guys. The very last one I did was a little bit more that way, but not necessarily. I didn't really go into much detail about any of those points I talked about. I tried to let you guys make your own decisions about how you judge other people based on different criteria. I just want you to be aware of that stuff. I want all of us to be aware of these things, and whether or not we consider each of these stances or each of these opinions we might have in these different areas to be good or evil. It's just important that we come to know what they are. Just kind of it's an exercise in understanding ourselves better. And it's also an exercise in treating other people better, I think. But that's all I was trying to say in the last video. And I really try to minimize those kinds of videos because I don't like other people being preachy to me. Or, let me rephrase that. A lot of times there's a reason behind the sermon or the talk, right? Whether it's from your dad or from a bishop or a church leader or from some parent or some relative or whoever, right? If you're going to get a speech, you're going to get a talk, you grit your teeth and just kind of bear it, and you're like, okay, yeah. Usually what you end up saying is, you're right, I'll try to improve or try it, whatever, if it's the right thing that they're saying. And occasionally that some people are being a little preachy and maybe they have the wrong idea about some things sometimes. But most of the time, it's probably, well, anyway, in my experience, there's something to be learned from these kinds of things. So getting back to this woman, the White Rose. She's a younger woman. She's not very old, I don't think. And she takes very good care of herself, all that good stuff. She talks about all kinds of things that I suppose are great to hear. But again, she disabled her comments. Why would she do that? Was she really getting some very negative comments? I thought to myself, what would cause someone to just disable comments altogether? What could someone possibly say on YouTube that would be that hurtful? Was she just that sensitive? And I've been on YouTube for a long time now. Most of the time I haven't been putting out videos. The last few years I have been. And I can tell you, I can definitely tell you better than most people the nature of some of the worst comment threads out there. And I do mean bad. I mean very bad. I mean like reprehensibly bad. I mean like satanic. Not necessarily in some not necessarily in the direct sense. Well, in a way, yes. I mean just in terms of behavior. I mean just in terms of how wretched and wicked some people can be on YouTube and probably in real life. And I've seen some really bad stuff, folks. I mean, I've I have seen some really bad stuff. I've seen some bad stuff in real life, but I've really seen some really, really messed up stuff on YouTube. Read through some stuff that was just ridiculous. Like, ridiculously wrong and evil and bad. You know what? I realized after a while, and this is what we all realize, YouTube is a place where you can read some seriously cruddy stuff, and, you know, even your young teenagers get to this point where they troll people. They just say all this random things to annoy people, and, you know, it's because we're not talking to, again, like I mentioned before in an earlier video, we're not talking to someone face to face, you know, and so there's a lot more things that come to mind that we suddenly realize, oh, we can say with very little or no repercussions, depending on how we say what we say. Yeah, I mean, it's like, so this woman, young woman, decided enough's enough. She doesn't want to have any more comments. Only problem is, I was, you know, and I've subscribed, sure, and I could unsubscribe at any point in time as well. But the only problem is that, you know, here's the problem with disabling comments. So part of the enjoyment of YouTube, I think, has to do with responding to videos, including this one. If you don't have that option, and then why would you watch a YouTube video? Well, maybe to learn something, but that's really if you wanted to learn something. What if you wanted to socialize? What if you wanted to just mess around with someone, or just mess with someone, right? You can kind of get that idea pretty quickly, more or less. And sometimes, to be honest, yeah, I'm in a mood to kind of be jokey with someone, or to, you know, kind of do a little trash talking, perhaps, maybe. Sure. I mean, like, it's probably physically healthier to trash talk when you're playing basketball, right? We'll get into the whole, right? But you could, if you trash talk on YouTube, that happens all the time. It's probably better to trash talk than it is to get really stinking, really nasty. But I guess it depends on what you consider trash talk and where it gets into something more serious. But no, I was kind of a little bit put off by this no comment thing from this woman, the White Rose. I kept thinking to myself, well, what the devil, you know? I mean, like. Okay, so I actually also found out there's no other way of contacting her on YouTube. But she had some email that she gave that, you know, where we could say, oh, I want you to say this, or I want you to read this. The thing is that she hasn't put out anything for over 6 months. So I'm just thinking to myself, well, okay. You know, we're all a little different. I'm going to try not to judge this person. But folks, I mean, I just kept thinking to myself, you know, I could go on some other directions here as to, you know, my feelings here. Yeah, some of them maybe are implied a little bit, a few of them, but maybe the thing is that, anyway, the thing is that, let's get back to this preachy thing. And combine that with the no comments thing. When you have a leader of a church, right, or in my case, a bishop of the LDS ward, and they get up and they talk about something, generally speaking, I agree with everything they're saying. In fact, I don't think I've ever disagreed with anything they've ever said, which is one of the reasons I'm still Mormon, right? I say one of the reasons I'm Mormon. I know what they're saying is true. But sometimes, you know, I would like to be able to say stuff. You know, I would like to be able to give a talk. We give talks, which is great. A lot of other churches, the members of a church don't give talks, right? We just sit there. Right? And you listen to what the minister has to say, or the pastor, or, you know, the priest, or whatever. In my church, but the bishop, the thing is that we have once a month called fasted testimony meetings. We can get up and you can bear your testimony. You share your spiritual feelings, right? About stuff. And there's some things that are recommended that you say, other things maybe not so much. You can tell a little story, but testimonies aren't talks. Talks are, in my church, are when you talk about a specific subject and things, and it's kind of like instruction. It's a little bit like Sunday school, just with everybody there, rather than, individual classes. And a testimony is just a summary of your beliefs, what you believe to be true, but you don't know scientifically necessarily. That's a testimony. And okay, so let's get back to what I'm trying to say. I would like to be able to talk to the bishop, though. Sometimes I like to be able to talk. Often, I always just talk to my family, or I talk to other people, about what was said by the bishop or by other people that gave talks at church. Absolutely, I've definitely had many chats with my family before about this stuff. Maybe not as much as some folks that are LDS or whatever, but certainly there were some. But, of course, I'm sorry, folks, I'm going on another tangent here, but I have to mention this as well. There's a lot of things you keep hearing over and over again in my church, which is one of the reasons why sometimes it's easy to kind of, not be super attentive, right? But that's probably just religion, Christianity in general, more or less. So, anyway. So, getting back to being preachy and getting back to my comments and things, and allowing comments. So, I've heard a lot of crud on YouTube, and nothing that I've ever seen on my channel has come even close to the worst that I've seen. So, I mean, there's been a few comments that were a little bit less than cool, but one or two, but I mean, I've forgotten what they are. I just, and at this point, I just don't get too many of them still, which is okay. It's fine. It's very easy to organize comments. It's very easy to say, yes, I approve, or no, I don't. If I ever get to the point where it's big enough that I don't know, I'll kind of adjust things as they come, but I prefer having comments here because that lets you guys be able to communicate with me very easily. And I think it's only fair to do that because, well, actually, one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like sitting through church sermons and big talks and things is because of the whole, I've heard this one before, I know where this is going, And it's not always pleasant to hear something, even if it isn't especially direct, or even if it isn't especially fire and brimstone type stuff, right? Maybe you just heard it before, and you want to be a good person, so you try to listen, right? And, that's one of the reasons why it's so nice to come back on YouTube sometimes, because, YouTube is full of all kinds of different kinds of things you could watch. And even better, you can comment on what you've just watched. When you take away comments, maybe this woman was really kind of sick of it all, and she just wanted to be able to share some stuff, but she hasn't put up anything, as far as I know, for quite some time. Maybe she's doing something else now. I don't know. I just know that I don't like it when people disable comments. If it's the sort of content that would merit further conversation. And also on top of that, YouTube is a community. YouTube, because of their comments and because of other ways of contacting, people that are in charge of channels, it is very much a community. And we like being able to talk to each other, I think. And I think the closer knit that certain channels become, it's just a great thing. And I want to keep that aspect of YouTube very much alive. So I never intend to disable my comments. Never. I might block a YouTuber I don't care for. And, for the most part, I'll try to make that known before that happens. But you guys, don't even worry. You guys, my subscribers, you guys that are my subscribers and everything, and anybody else that's watching this, You guys are fine. Don't worry about a thing. Right? And I'm not talking about you guys. And just talking about riffraff that, they don't understand me. They don't understand my channel. They don't understand what it is that I'm after. And what I'm after, one of the things I'm after is, making some nice friends on YouTube for, at least starting from there. Why not? Meeting some new people on YouTube, talking about awesome things. That's what it's all about. Let's not talk about money. I know. I don't know. If it ever comes to that, if I get to the point where that might be something I might consider, I'll mention that to you guys a long time before that ever happens. So don't worry about that stuff. But yeah, so I know we're getting longer again. I tried to keep this short. So I was just kind of a little bit miffed by this person. And just a little bit, not too much. I think I know where this person is coming from a little bit. And yeah, there's many other people I wanted to meet anyway. But, again, I want to keep this comment thing very open. And I'll make it very clear if something is not so cool, but, I don't like blocking people on YouTube. I don't. I mean, it's quite obvious when I have to. But anyway, I'll tell you more about some other things that have gone into my online behavior, I suppose, in the future. And believe me, there's been there's been some learning experiences I've had. There's definitely been some learning experiences in the past I've had regarding this kind of thing. So, all right, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.